Out earlier on another computer, so hopefully it'll work. You know how this works, the success of technology is inversely proportional to the number of observers in the room. Times the importance of the presentation. So, hopefully this will work. All I did is just copy the installation files directly on my flash drive, and it seemed to work right there, so hopefully this will work. So I've been playing around with Active Presenter, which is designed to create interactive lessons, and it's really kind of exciting. I can only, of course, scratch the surface barely of what it's capable of doing. So what I'll do is I'll just demonstrate here how to create a responsive project, but we can also record software simulations and things like that, and I'll briefly demonstrate that too. So let me just choose one of these guys. We'll use this nice missile, I guess. And I'm going to create a responsive project just to show you what this thing can do. By the way, I'm using the free version here. You can use it free all you want, except you can't use it for commercial purposes unless you pay for it. And I'll show you at the end, I'll kind of go through the paid structure for it. So what I've been working on lately is a set of subnetting lessons. So this looks just like PowerPoint, as you can see. Looks a lot like PowerPoint, except I have some other capabilities I'll show you in a minute. So let's start. I made a title slide. Let's make a slide called binary. And I'm just going to put a little bit of text here. Imagine a car odometer, TER, that has only zeros and ones on each unit. And so a nice little binary thing. The first time you get in, it reads, forgive any spelling errors, 00000. After 1 mile, it reads 00001. All right? So for my next slide then, what I'm going to do is see if we can ask a question here. This is just like an LMS. I can insert images, insert a video, true-false question, multiple choice question, multiple response question, fill in the blank question, multiple blanks, essay, sequence question, drag and drop, Likert, or a report. So I'll just put a multiple choice and say, what will the odometer read after the second mile? And then you can select one of these buttons here, whichever one's going to be true. So I'll just make the second one true, 00010. Oops, didn't type in there. No lock wasn't on. Some distractors here. 00001, 00002. Of course, that's. And I don't know. Let's say it's going to read out of gas. You know, by the way, I discovered one time an error that Einstein made when I ran out of gas. So I looked at the gauge and I discovered that E equals MT. All right, so there's a question. What I like to do personally is add a button. This isn't necessary, but I like to add a button here. Besides that, it's good for demonstration purposes. That says submit, and another button here that says reset. And for the submit button, I'm going to go to the event properties. And this is really cool. So you have all these options, of course, on rollover, on timeout, on click, add an action. I've got a whole bunch of actions: continue the presentation, restart it, and so on. Go to a certain slide, show an object, hide an object, highlight an object, play an audio. By the way, you can put audio in these things so that it'll narrate the slides if you want. Start a timeline. You can even have variables and execute JavaScript if you want, so you can write JavaScript code in there if you wish. But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to say submit, because that's a submit button, and it knows the code already for submitting. And then for the reset button, I will tell it to clear user input. The other thing I like to do on these is to have two more buttons. One here that says previous and one that says next. And so for the previous button, I guess it's already highlighted over here. Previous button on click, of course, we will go backwards, and for the next button, we'll go forwards. It's also nice on the title slide, by the way, to have one that says start. And for the start button, I will force that one to go to a certain slide number 2. Like that. All right, let's see what it looks like. I'm telling you in advance that something's going to fail on me, because I already know. Here's what's going to happen. The problem is it's just barreling through them. I don't want it to barrel through them like that. So what I'm going to do is select all 3 of those slides and go to transitions and turn off the auto advance, and also set the slide duration to 0, so it's not going to have to wait. I don't have to wait for it. And I'll run it again. All right, that looks a little bit better. There's my start button. Oh my goodness, this thing's too big. Okay, there's my text. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't put my next and previous buttons on each slide, which I should have done. And this is way out of proportion, of course. You know how it is. It works again perfectly when I'm trying. That's the correct answer. I will submit it, and congratulations, it's correct. So it's really easy to put these things together. I could also, of course, put my own graphics on those if I wish. Well, just for fun, I'll put a graphic on here that I have on my flash drive.
Does it have a way of calculating the amount of correct and incorrect at the end? I'll give you a little summary.
And I'll show you that in a minute. Well, you can't see that very well. It says hooray. I'll show you that in just a minute. So where it does the calculations. So it does keep a score or not. You can, of course, you can set it up either way, and it's also compatible with SCORM, so that you can move it into an LMS. So the thing is, when I put this graphic on there, I don't know if you can see that very well. I'm going to have to go to the event properties, for this slide, and tell it on load, I don't want that to show. So I'll hide object on load, and I'll tell it to hide my image. And then down here under on correct, I'm going to change that, the current one, to show image, and then show my image instead. So now I've got my hooray if they get it right. I won't bother to go through that because there's some other things I want to show you. If I decide then to put a, if I can remember where it is, slide, here we go, software simulation. This is really cool, especially for those students who don't have access to the software maybe that you want to show them a piece of. So I'm going to turn on the software simulation recorder, and we'll just use Word, I guess. And full screen. Now, of course, I can turn my audio on. I'm not recording any audio right now with it. Click record, and then I'll just do something. So, say insert, SmartArt. Choose one of them, like that. And I'll stop my recorder. So now I've got a software simulation in here, and I can run this guy. Tutorial. Run it. Here's my initial screen. I probably should try to resize that a little bit. Here's my initial screen. I forgot to put my buttons on these, so. Anyway. Click, correct, SmartArt, correct, and so on. By the way, I can resize these hotspots as well, so that it can fit the hotspot as you need it to. And so I can walk. This one I would probably take out. I don't want to click on active presenter in order to end it. So I can certainly go to these slides and I can remove a slide, like that last one. So really good. Here's one of the nice things, by the way. This is capable of animations as well and randomization. So I'm going to go real quickly here, and this will be the last thing, to the site. Presenter, I never can remember where it is, atomisystems.com. And we'll just pick one of these. I like this one. Here's some crossword puzzles and different games and animated things. This one's a really nice one. Catch the bubbles. And we can see it work like that. Let's take a physics question, which of them, and so on. And so I was going to also show you the reports. I'll show you that in a minute. But what I wanted to show you here is that I can download that project and alter it. And so that's going to be a really super easy thing. Oh, it's not going to allow me to do it in Active Presenter because I don't have it installed. Well, of course. So you know what? Let's go to downloads. See if I can get around it. Open with more apps. Active Presenter. There we go. Hopefully that'll work.
So have you imported any grades from this entity to
I have not tried it yet. Supposedly because it's SPLEN compliant, you can.
Yeah.
But it's not something I've tried yet. So this is just incredibly easy. All I have to do is just change the name of one of these things, binaries, and then go down. That was the history one, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go down to the history slide and alter the history slide. So that's how easy it is to change it. All I got to do is change the wording here, whatever I said. And I won't bother to change the question, but let's put my 00010 like that. That's the correct answer. And done. It's changed. So yeah, the last thing I'll show you then is the scoring. So down here at the last one, I have a play again. So what I'm going to do is just copy, paste. I'm going to duplicate that button, and I'll say report. And now I'm going to add a slide here. There's a report slide, which is really handy. And then I'll tell that report then to go to slide 12. So on click, go to slide 12. Like that. Just variable. I'm not sure what that one is, so I'm going to leave it there and hope that that works. Let's just do one of them. Art. Oh, great. Early photographers make their images on which of these materials?
Glass.
Glass? Okay, we'll try that. And let's see if I go all the way down here then to the report. There we go. I took 2 slides Oh, it says I got 0 correct, I'm not sure why. Did I not, again, it works in my test. It doesn't work, yeah, too many people in the room, so it doesn't work. But,
So Roger, how do you set the weight for each of the quizzes?
I have not tried setting weights. So as far as this report, these are all variables, and the variable, you can set your own formulas in variables. So the other thing about this too that's really cool is the company who makes this is really responsive. I've sent problems into them. They say, hey, send me the slide that you're having a problem with. I sent it to them, and they're all over it. And they're extremely good support. So now, the last little bit then is, what's this thing cost and all that stuff. And as far as pricing, here's the pricing on the whole pricing. Here it is, active presenter. So Pro is the one that really we probably need, and that's at $399, but educational discount of $200, so you get $199.
Nice, yeah.
So that's not terrible. Maybe after this they'll buy me one. Anyway.
But you're saying you could use it, the professional one, for free, but as long as it's not...
You can use it free, but you're not allowed to use it for commercial purposes, so you probably could not use it here.
Do you notice any difference between when it's free and when it's licensed?
I have, other than it puts a watermark. I don't know if you noticed there was a watermark on the screen.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. There was also a table of contents that ran down the left side as I was doing the presentation. And you can remove that, that's all under your control. A lot of control in this thing.
Is it an annual license or is it?
No, this is a one-time license. So that's kind of cool.
I assume if they go to a newer version, they'll probably have to buy it again.
You just have to register under your institution's, with using an institution's email address.
Can you email us all the link to that?
Yeah, I certainly can.
So Roger,
Yeah.
what do students need to install in order to?
Nothing, yeah, so it all is HTML5 compliant. So when you export, you just export them under home, I believe it is, no, export here. You just export it to HTML. Here's the player settings, so I can set up all my player settings, like getting rid of the table of contents. But you export it to HTML, and if you want LMS reporting, here's SCORM 1.2, SCORM 2004, and XAPI, which D2L is supposed to be compatible with both XAPI and
So that writes like an archive that the students can.
apparently. I said I haven't tried this in D2L.
Oh, I don't care about the SCORM stuff. I was just wondering how you would give it to your students to execute and what they would have.
Oh,
to
yeah,
do.
it makes, I believe it just makes an HTML file. So it's just an HTML file.
And then you just double click on it, it would launch a browser.
And it should fire up.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So they consider us a for-profit commercial organization?
Also, educational discount.
Well, for them to get profit, not us.
So anyway,
Can
export.
you open the folder and let us?
Yeah, so let me see, would you like to view the output now? Yeah, let's go ahead. So yeah, just opened it as a local drive tutorial HTML,
Nice.
and it runs.
So it's cross-platform too?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
So you just have to point everybody to the main page, and then it just goes from there.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Active Presenter itself, when you're building the presentation, what platforms are supported?
I'm not following.
Windows, Macintosh, Linux.
If it's HTML5, it doesn't matter, right?
Well, to run that.
Oh,
the
I
Windows
get you.
version of the software, so,
There's a Mac version.
is there a Mac version?
Well, let's see. OS 8.
OS 8?
I heard of that.
Active what?
Emulation
No,
mode?
okay, never mind. Mac OS 10.12, 10.15, up to 10.15.
Yeah, I've only seen the
So,
Windows
yeah.
version on
All
here.
right.
No, it's there.
And then the last thing is, so this thing that it's writing, is it, encrypted or compressed or anything that's gonna make it hard for the students to go into it and dig out the answers? Quizzes and stuff, or
That's a good question. I haven't looked to see.
that's a takeaway?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the killer question, is it accessible?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. But it's HTML based.
Yeah,
so-
it's just
It's
HTML.
HTML, but,
so-
Well, but will the reader read those floating bubbles?
Yeah, what about those bubbles, yeah.
Can you make that, like in responsive, can you, just in the browser, can you make it like in a responsive design mode?
Yeah, can you run it on a cell phone, for example?
Haven't tried it.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of unanswered questions about that. I'm still learning it myself, but.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And
Yeah.
it seems to me like, there's a lot of software, for example, that, it's hard for students to have to download. You can do the simulations, and, gamification is always good.
And this may be something that you could suggest to our online learning group to, I don't know if they're aware of this or if they've seen it, because if they think it's a cool tool, then they might, make it available to faculty.
Yeah, I mean, I chose this one because of the pricing. Of course, there's an Adobe Captivate is the one that everybody uses out in industry. I don't have like $1,300 to blow on it. It's Adobe, right?
So Roger, how would you include some illustrations and questions about phase modulation and pulse modulation, and how you get those kind of graphics up there so they can choose?
Well, the sky's the limit. Of course, you can insert any graphics, as I did there. You can also insert motion pictures, you can insert movies as well.
Do they have stock like graphics and?
Not that I've
Or
seen.
games?
I think you'd have to supply your own graphics. So supposedly they do have a lot of templates that are available with the Pro version, but since I haven't purchased the Pro version yet, I don't know. So, there you go. Yeah.
This example, catch the bubbles, when I set my browser to responsive design mode, like for a phone, it resizes it down
Does it?
to a size that fits in the
Probably kind of hard to hit the
screen
bubbles.
window.
You want.
It's pretty small. It's pretty small, but
Our students have good eyesight.
Yeah.
That's
at
right.
least you don't have to scroll left and right to make it work.
That's a plus, yeah.
That's right. All right. Anything else? Any other questions?